Okay, so you know the Super Bowl, right? It's not just about the game, it's the biggest stage for ads on the planet. And this year, the giants of AI decided to make it their own personal battleground. It was supposed to be this epic showdown, you know? High stakes, big money, but what we actually ended up with was, well, something else entirely.
So that brings us to the big question, right? When you have two of the heaviest hitters in AI, Anthropic and OpenAI, going at it in front of literally millions of people, who came out on top? Who won?
The answer is pretty shocking, actually. No one. And that is the absolute core of this whole story. This wasn't some glorious battle with a victor. Nope. It was just a messy fight where everybody, and I mean everybody, including the entire AI industry, ended up losing.
All right, so let's get into it. Let's break down exactly how this whole ad war between Anthropic and OpenAI just completely backfired and honestly ended up hurting how people see AI at a moment when that perception is, well, it's everything.
Okay, so it all kicked off with Anthropic. They came out swinging with their very first Super Bowl ads. Now, you'd think they'd use this huge platform to show off how amazing their AI is, right? Wrong. They decided to go straight for the jugular. A total attack ad. It was a classic challenger move, you know? Trying to make a name for yourself by taking a shot at the king of the hill.
And I mean, this campaign was aggressive. Seriously aggressive. The opening titles of their ads just flashed across the screen, one after another. Betrayal. Then violation.
Then treachery.
And to top it all off, deception. I mean, come on, this is some seriously heavy stuff for an AI ad, right? It just immediately sets this super confrontational tone.
And you know, the ads themselves, they were pretty clever. I'll give them that. So in one, you've got this AI counselor giving you some generic, bland life advice, and then boom, it suddenly tries to sell you on a mature dating site. Then in another one, you see this super buff AI fitness coach helping a teenager with his pull-ups, only to turn around and push shoe insoles to make, and I quote, short kings stand tall. The point was super clear. All those other AIs, they're just going to betray you with ads.
And then came the knockout punch. The tagline for every single one of these ads was a direct shot right at OpenAI's plan to eventually put ads in ChatGPT. This wasn't subtle at all. It was a straight-up, targeted attack on their competitor's future business model. So, the ball's in OpenAI's court. How does the market leader respond to this pretty blatant provocation? Do they just laugh it off? Do they ignore it? Nope, not even close. They chose to escalate. They decided to bite back, and man, did they bite back hard. Look, OpenAI basically had two paths they could take here. You've got option one, the classic market leader play. You laugh it off, say nothing, act totally unbothered. But they went with option two, the aggressive response. They decided to hit back, escalate the whole thing, and attack Anthropic right back.
The first shot from OpenAI came from their chief marketing officer, Kate Rouse. And what she did was brilliant, in a way. She completely reframed the whole debate. She was like, forget about ads. You want to talk about real betrayal? Let's talk about control. She basically painted Anthropic as this elitist company that thinks powerful AI is way too dangerous for you, for regular people, and that it should be kept locked away.
And just when you thought it couldn't get any spicier, CEO Sam Altman himself jumps into the fray and just turns the heat all the way up. He didn't just call the ads dishonest. No, he accused the company of Anthropic doublespeak and even called them an authoritarian company. Wow. Okay, so at this point, this is not about ads anymore. This is blown up into a full-on philosophical and very personal war of words.
All right, so now that we've seen the punches thrown, let's actually break this fight down. Because honestly, both companies made some huge strategic mistakes here, and it's really worth digging into why their tactics just didn't work.
So let's start with OpenAI. Look, punching down like this, it's just not what a market leader is supposed to do. When you're the one on top, getting into a public mudslinging match with a smaller competitor, all you really do is give them a bigger platform while you just end up looking kind of insecure.
You know, there's this amazing quote from the show Mad Men that just perfectly nails the energy OpenAI should have brought to this. A rival says he feels sorry for Don Draper, and Don just looks at him completely cold and says, "I don't think about you at all." Oof. See? That's the power move. It shows you're so confident, so far ahead, that you're not even bothered. It keeps you above all the drama.
But let's be clear, Anthropic's strategy was just as messed up, maybe even more so. Let's break down why it failed. First off,
The whole context was way too niche for a Super Bowl ad. I mean, they're attacking a problem, ads in ChatGPT, that doesn't even exist yet. It's a pain point that most people have literally never experienced. Second, for the few people who did get the reference, the ads probably just made them think, yep, see, AI is just another sneaky way for big tech to control us. And finally, this petty attack ad tone was the complete opposite of the brand Anthropic had spent years building, this thoughtful, safety-focused company. It was just completely off-brand.
So, after all that, who is the real loser here? Was it Anthropic? Was it OpenAI? Nope. The biggest casualty, the real loser, was the public's perception of the entire AI industry.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Instead of seeing some inspiring ad about how AI could change the world for the better, what did the public get? They got to watch two tech giants just bickering like kids. The only real result here was making a public that's already kind of skeptical of AI even more annoyed. It just feeds that narrative that AI is just another tech thing you have to be worried about. And that's dangerous because it stops people from actually learning about it and getting ready for the real impact it's going to have.
So yeah, when you add it all up, the petty attacks, the aggressive comebacks, the totally negative framing from both sides, the conclusion is, well, it's pretty obvious. This was just a big L, a huge loss for the entire industry.
And all of this really leaves us with one last and maybe most important question. As all these companies are racing to outdo each other, to grab that top spot, to dominate the market, are they completely forgetting about the most important thing of all? Actually winning over the hearts and minds of the public they're supposed to be building this future for?